Yeah, I just grabbed the Heller Master Wrench, yeah, just for the heck of it, for a prop. Actually, that would fit your half-inch breaker bar. Yeah, it's one of the many tools I bought when Beeline went out of business. A couple blocks away from here. I actually was looking for something else for a prop today. They call that the Master Wrench. I was looking for something else for a prop today, because but I really wanted to get back into my old cool tools. By the way, it's 3 degrees out there, which is pretty close to what it is in here. I just have any of you. There's contact. Yeah, I got the glove on that hand. I was just looking for something to give context for size. It won't quite open up that wide enough. Ooh, I hadn't planned on that. But that doesn't surprise me a bit. You should try and, just throw one of these in your pickup box and drive around for a week and see all the damage it can do. That's called a grinder ball. We used to haul them with about 10-inch sides or 12-inch sides on a flatbed. They came out of somewhere down south. I want to say Alabama, but I'm not positive. I don't know what they are made of, and I don't know what they're used for. But they went up on the Iron Range, up northern Minnesota, way up there. I mean that's cold country. I mean it's cold here, but they got to be that much tougher than me. We used to haul them up to the mines, and you'd park on a little bit of a back slope, and they had a bunker to catch them, and you'd pry up that back bar, the back board, and just watch them all roll off the trailer down the hill and into that bunker. It was union jobs. It was out there on the Iron Range. But let me do a little background. After the Civil War, Minnesota, South Dakota, parts of Nebraska, they opened up for homesteading. Well, they were opened up for homesteading prior to that, but if you were a veteran, you could take possession of it. All you had to do was find an unoccupied 160 acres, which is about a quarter of a mile square. Townships are sized in 36 sections, and a section is a square mile. And usually Section 16 went to the school board to finance education. And if a railroad line was plotted to come through, they would give whoever the contractor was alternating sections on each side of the railroad tracks to finance his building. Well, these veterans were entitled to 160 acres of unclaimed land here, 320 in South Dakota, but 160 around here. And all they had to do was find an unoccupied section and file the paperwork, and it was theirs. Of course, there was some wealthy family in New York City. They're still out there. They have a foundation now. I won't give their name, but they came up with an idea. And they got a whole bunch of attorneys, firms, law firms to go around to veterans that had lost an arm or a leg, and they got their power of attorney. And they came into the Iron Range. At that time, it was old growth pine. I've heard stories. I've actually seen one in a park, but I've heard stories of pine trees with a 5-foot thick trunk. And anyhow, they claimed all this land, and then they brought in loggers from Europe to log this off. And all the time the loggers were logging, they were complaining about this orange, rusty-colored dust. Well, that turned out to be the taconite. So when the wood was gone, somehow they found out there was iron ore there. And taconite is really nasty stuff because it's known to cause mesothelioma, but it's something to see up north in museums and stuff. You'll see photos of the old steam locomotives coming off the iron range in the dead of the winter, and about half the weight of the locomotive itself has to be ice because every time it shot steam out, it streaked back down the side of the locomotive and refroze. The things looked like they almost had wings. But I digress. Anyhow, I got off track a little bit. Oh, by the way, there is one of them steam locomotives in a city park in Esco, Minnesota. And I think they've got some pictures too. And they did use that locomotive into the 1960s just because it gets so incredibly cold up there that they couldn't keep the diesels running. It was a lot easier just to run an old steam locomotive. Well, at any rate, the reason I even brought this up at all is our president issued an executive order. Well, there's a whole bunch of union jobs done. He closed down the taconite mines. But anyhow, that's my thought for the day. I did have a connection because I'd hauled into a few mines up there and a few mine supply outfits. Well, thank you.